Alright, Chapter 10 of Unhinged. Tana woke with an unladylike snort, likely disoriented to surface from the... Already my brain's going place. To surface from such a deep sleep, while light still steamed through the window. She wiped drool from the corner of her mouth, blinking sleepily before letting herself fall back into the cushions. Her voice floated over the couch, heavy with a dry humor. Right. My shockingly attractive door has come to life after I fucked him, vowing to protect me against my murderous panty-sniffing super that broke in and poisoned my orange juice. Just another Thursday. I grinned. Shockingly attractive, huh? I'd take it. I wiped the back of my hand across my forehead. This sweating thing was almost as annoying as my floppy human spine. I walked over to the tiny pink screwdriver still clutched walked over with the tiny pink screwdriver still clutched in my big palm. Tana stretched with a gentle groan, tilting her head side to side to work the kinks out of her neck as her eyes flickered up in a greeting. She loved her couch, but hard naps always took their toll on her neck and shoulders. Hey, sleepyhead, I beamed happily at her, and she returned it with a sleepy, peaceful one as she stretched again, breast straining against her tea. Staining. That is a whole different connotation. If she didn't cut it out, I was going to need a shower. A cold one. Did you have a good rest? The new door came while you were asleep. And there were instructions with it, so I figured I'd make myself useful. I could see people are messaging, but I'm too focused. I am not going to get into that conversation on Discord right now. I don't know what the hell was posted, but I'll look at that later. Okay. She scrubbed her eye with the heel of her hand, looking beyond the couch to see that She scrubbed her eye with the heel of her hand, looking beyond the couch to see that her new door, one with a pretty transom arch window, I can't even visualize what that is, was installed in her front door frame now. I grinned, walking over to open and close the new door with a flourish. I twisted the latch on the curved inner handle before dropping a pair of shiny brass keys in her hand. Why brass? I don't know. Most keys are zinc. When we perused the delivery app, I'd not so subtly steered her away from picking a model similar to my own. With a rounded knob on the interior. I knew it was ridiculous, but it made me a little jealous. I didn't want a replacement she could fuck, even theoretically. Already, not even a day as a human. I brought her phone over. I'd charge it while she was sleeping and handed it over to her, nodding at the door. We should probably call the police now, right? I'm looking at the... I should not have looked over to see Richard. Why are you showering while I'm doing this? Oh, hey, Sladesh. I gotta get back, I gotta get back at it. Sorry. Tana opened her mouth to reply, but her phone buzzed in her hand before she could. Oh, she has the landlord's name as Creep. I love that. Creep says, "Hey, honey, Mrs. Grimshaw says you got a big package delivered. Do you need help getting it inside? I'm good with delivering big packages." Fuck your ducks. God damn. Tana's lip curled in disgust, and I groaned in anger as I read over her shoulders. Was I in her personal space? Maybe. But I'd already told her I was her protector, hadn't I? Excuse me. Oh, we're good, Slanesh. This is hopefully the final chapter of door porn. Oh, this is not the time. Stop it, burps. He knows you relax and make your mimosas today. And he usually peeks in through the window to watch you for a minute. If he hears the TV on and knows you're facing away, he's probably hoping to take advantage of you, or worse, once you're drugged. I don't need advertisements. I need to turn the notifications off. I'd bet he suggests mimosas as soon as he got in. My hand tightened over her shoulder, rubbing it as much to soothe her as myself. The fuck kind of I'm either stupid or that don't make sense. Tana laughed, looking at me in disbelief. Oh, and he's the stalker? Sounds like you could give him a run for his money, Driss. That's what his name was. I blushed at my own insensity as much as the pleasure of hearing my new name on her lips. Okay, caught me. I was worried about you, that's all. I mean, I know you can hold your own. That's why he has to drug you in the first place, because you're such a fighter. But I, honestly, Tana, want to kill him. I'm not given to violence, I promise. Not even when I used to be slammed and kicked open by those impatient frat boys before he moved in. But the thought of him touching you, my voice roughened with an unspoken threat. It was hard to miss the flash of lust that warmed Tana's gaze. Hang on a sec. So if the door puts its peen in her, what does that add to Yes, Scaly, it does. She turned, lacing her arms around my neck, an intimacy I cherished. It's okay. I want to kill him too. I probably would in self-defense. If I didn't worry about the trials and going to jail and everything else. If only to protect other women too. But you've watched the shows. Even obvious justice gets punished a lot. And then they determine innocence years later with a whoops for locking somebody up for decades. She frowned, sighing. If I was really lucky, they'd arrest him on circumstantial evidence over the orange juice, maybe. And meanwhile, he'd be out free on bond to do God knows what to me in revenge. I also don't want the cops anywhere near you. We're not even sure what you are. Driss. And I'm willing to bet your transformation didn't come with ID. Trying to read what... Are we still on the door that... The door has already turned into a dude. I forgot to mention that. Or did I? Magic Jesus Moses guy came in somehow did the cell kind of thing and put Woody into Tana's dream. Woody convinced Tana that she needs to christen the door to make Woody real, and Woody became real. And now they're trying to figure out how to do things. Get back behind that fourth wall. Oh, we're under the fifth wall now. Totally. Okay. This didn't come with ID. She laid her cheek on my bare chest again, letting me tighten my arms around her. Maybe I should just forget about it. Trust the new door to keep him out. If I'm careful. And only if I go to my car during the day. Or take you with me. Or maybe if I get an alarm system. Her phone buzzed again, where it was clutched in her hand at my back. And she tensed, a barely audible whimper slipping out. I grumbled, holding her gently outward in order to meet her eyes. Tana, that's no way to live. You shouldn't have to look over your shoulder every time you cross a parking lot, or go shopping, or let yourself in your own apartment because some sick man thinks he's entitled to you. No, we're going to end this. If you don't trust the police, we'll find another way. See, that was easy to read. And even though the reassurance came from the lips of a fantasy man pulled straight from her dreams and her doorframe, I'd hoped that Tana would let herself believe them. Would let herself believe them. Chapter 11. After we tested the new door's lock carefully, Tana agreed to go to the store with me, if only to get me some clothing that didn't look like I was en route to a Magic Mike's calendar shoot. I still caught her preening as I gathered numerous appreciative looks while I looked through the racks of t-shirts. Still clad? Still clad only... I'm trying to understand what that word is supposed to mean. Still clad only in her ex's... Oh, okay, I get it. Her ex's gray sweatpants and a pair of Tana's pink rhinestone-studded flip-flops that were 2 sizes too small. After an elderly woman nearly ran her cart into the display, checking me out, Tana's expression changed from bemusement to annoyed. She huffed and pulled a plain black shirt over my head, snapping off the tag and tossing it in the cart's upper basket with the toiletries she picked up for me. There, you can wear this out instead of causing public property damage from all these thirsty retreats. I chuckled, pulling her close and kissing her so thoroughly and openly there was no question he only had eyes for her. She stumbled back a step, fingertips ghosting over her lips, eyes wide. Oh, right. I forgot they hadn't done that before. Not only when I looked like this, anyways. She'd kissed me while I was still a door, but it had been more of a joke than anything else, right? Oh, Tana, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have assumed that you'd want... I winced, dropping my hands from her shoulders and stepping back behind the cart to give her space. What? Tana tilted her head, eyes dancing with amusement. Driss, I think you're allowed to steal a kiss, sweetheart. I kind of... My eyes read too fast. I kind of buried your knob in my pussy like a few hours ago. We both jumped at a metallic clang and a loud whimpering noise as the entire display stack of boxes tumbled into an aisle. A red-faced woman, unable to meet our eyes, hastily backed her cart away from the point of collision and took off in the opposite direction. Yeah, well, serves you right for eavesdropping, nosy. Tana sneered at her, grinning at me a moment later as I bent down to pick up the boxes. But seriously, Driss, it's fine. Feel free, okay? Much like an eavesdropper, I struggled to meet Tana's eyes, concentrating on straightening the stack of boxes instead, as I impulsively added the question, and the rest? Tana reached a hand down to help me up, giving me a wink. Well, maybe not right here in the menswear section. My heart soared. Other parts of me did as well. Unfortunate, forcing me to grab the cart handle and put it in front of me. Tana only smirked, crossing her arms over her chest and glancing downwards. What's wrong, big boy? Got a not-so-little problem? I blushed, clearing my throat. I'll be fine. I'm good. Do you need anything? You want some ice cream in a few days? Let's get you with some ice cream, okay? She closed a hand around the side of the cart, stopping my progress with a curious tilt of her head. And just how do you know I want ice cream in a few days, Driss? I figured with the collar of my new shirt. Fidgeted. There, I can read. I fidgeted with the collar of my new shirt, clearing my throat again and lowering my voice. Your bad days. You'll have them soon, same as you did last month. The ones where you wear softer clothing and watch sad movies and go to the bathroom a lot and sometimes cry. I don't like to see you sad. And you seem better when you have ice cream. Again, that warm look, the one that lit me up like sunshine on a spring day. As she released the cart and moved to walk beside her. Her voice was soft, and a smile tugged in the corner of her mouth. Tugged up the corner of her mouth as she nodded towards the another. As she nodded towards another aisle. All right, this way. Holy. My lovely bathroom door left me alone during my shower. Maybe one day I'll have a door in my dreams. Maybe. I can't read all those comments yet. Once we'd gotten everything Tana thought I'd needed, we'd headed back to her apartment. The employment application I serendipitously grabbed at checkout, tucked in my pocket. She'd been insisting about buying me several outfits, pairs of shoes, and toiletries. But I didn't want to be a kept man if I could help it. Tana deserved to be taken care of, and I wanted to be the one to do it. As we were putting everything away, I tried not to read too much into the fact that Tana had cleaned out a drawer for me in her dresser. I explained what I'd seen Randall do. Randall's the landlord, who's a fuckface. Both before she moved in and after. The fear in her eyes made me anxious to soothe her. But I got the entire story out before I offered another hug. Excuse me. I hated scaring her, but she should know what kind of monster had access to her until very recently, her apartment. And you're absolutely sure he didn't poison anything else? Tana stood in front of the open refrigerator, frowning at the contents and biting her thumbnail. I shook my head, gently closing the refrigerator door and opening it with my arms again. Okay. She stepped into them. Oh, opening my arms again. I can read. She stepped to them like we were made for each other, and I held her close, gloriously happy despite our grim topic of conversation. No, nothing I'd seen. And I always kept very close watch on him. I couldn't see what he was doing in your bedroom because he closed the door behind him. But the orange juice was the only food he ever touched. Her nose wrinkled, and she slipped away from me to stomp to the bedroom. A few minutes later, she pulled open what? Oh, she pulled open the folding door on the hall closet and shoved an armful of linens and pillowcases in the washer, dusting off her hands. Blech. Gods know what the fuck he was doing in my bedroom. I always thought it smelled smoke, but I figured it was coming from the vestibule or something. Never been more glad I habitually wash my vibe before I use it. Her shivering blue stick. I'd always crouch down to retrieve the cleaning spray under the sink, along with a roll of paper towels that I tilted in her direction. Nah. If it's all right with you, I'll clean off your headboard, all the dresser tops too. I don't ever want you to feel violated or afraid in your own home. Tana studied me for a long moment, her eyes soft. Thank you, Driss. Sorry, I had a big cough. You've done so much already. You were a very good door. I hope you know that. I need to drink some liquid. That was a line. Something about being called a good door made my human legs feel weak and shaky. I nodded before continuing to the bedroom, grateful my new jeans and boxer briefs were better at concealing my arousal than the sweatpants had been. It's the end of that chapter. I gotta catch up on the comments. Good door. Good door. Yeah, Elena loves all her doors. Yeah, sick doors get priority. A door said, all I am to you. Well, the question remains as to whether he will stay as a door. Oh, King Philip, welcome. I was like, please don't tell me you raided me. This is not the kind of place you want to raid. Although, well, if I can get monetized, I'm definitely going to be raiding people. Yeah. Don't forget to like this stream. Much appreciated. All right, let's continue. My throat be acting up today. Sorry, people. Chapter 12. I'd started moving things carefully from the dresser top to the bedside table when I turned to find Tana leaning in the bedroom doorway, watching me. Her expression unreadable, a smirk playing on her lips. I saw that, you know. I turned my back to her and squeezed the trigger of the cleaning spray, only to have it stick, forcing me to fiddle with the nozzle nervously. I was trying to speak in water burps. Nervously. Sweat began to tickle down my skin under my new shirt, even though the bedroom was comfortably cool. I sprayed the dresser top and swiped a handful of paper towels across it, methodically. So what? I don't know what you mean. Suddenly, Tana's warmth was curled against my back, her arms lacing around my waist, fingertips dangling perilously close to where I wished they'd explore. I had so many hungers now, as a man, and this one had nothing to do with the drive-thru burger Tana had gotten me while we were out. The look on your face when I told you what a good tour you were for me. I set the spray aside to splay a palm on the dresser top, needing support at the gentle tease of her words. A faint metallic noise rang from where her hands rested below my abdomen. My traitorous human cock had kicked at my jeans, pinning one of her drawer handles against its back plate. It was becoming a problem. Unlike my knob, it couldn't decide what it wanted to be. Up and down and up again. Tana so much as looked my way. If Tana so much as looked my way. Oh, I just looked. I thought you were going to say, but if I get monetized, I'll find more tort porn to read. That will make me demonetized, probably. Speaking of which, where's your book club, Elena? They better be enjoying this. I have other books actually that I want to read. Other little books, like Phomonia Cunk, C-U-N-K. I want to read a few passages from her book because she's pretty funny. Let's see. I held my breath as her fingers unlaced to play at the front of my thighs, nails softly tracing at the denim as her voice purred at my ear. I'm going to tell you a secret, Driss. I have a weakness for big, strong men who do as they're told. Good boys who enjoy working for my praise. Oh. No. It makes me feel safe and protected. Do you know anyone else like that? Not Randall. My answering, came out considerably higher than the deep voice I'd just barely gotten used to. Closer to a squeak worthy of unoiled inches. My focus lasered in on a knot in the wood dresser top, my stomach tightening with anticipation. And who might that be, I wonder? Her voice sent chills down my human spine, which felt even less sturdy than it normally did. I put more of my weight on my palm, slightly bent over the low top of the dresser as my breath came in ragged gasps. Not ravaged, there's no V in there. I didn't know exactly what I wanted, what I needed, but I had a feeling Tana knew. It's me! I blurted, my voice trembling almost as much as my body. It's me! I'll do anything for you. Absolutely anything. Why did I just turn into Gilbert Gottfried? What the fuck? I'll pay you back for the clothes and cook for you and do the laundry. Welcome, Helena. You're a little late, but probably just in time. I don't know. You want Do you want to read a book about Mary Magdalene? Oh, wow. Does that also involve a door? What extra? Her voice sounded like beautiful bells as she laughed, resting her forehand between my shoulder blades, palm still pressed deliciously high at my thighs. Oh, Triss, you sweet thing. Relax, baby. We're only playing a little. Stop me if you don't like something, okay? I sucked in a breath as her fingers moved to the button of my jeans, my fingertips flexing with excitement against the dresser. Oh, okay. I like this. I like this a lot. That's because my zipper tuckled as she slid it down with agonizing slowness, cock immediately pushing out for relief for the pressure. I don't know why I'm laughing. This is fucking hilarious. Bowing through the stretchy box of brief material. You're my good boy. I whimpered. Tana's self-satisfied chuckle made my cock pump again, even as her nimble fingers burrowed into the slit of my boxer briefs to gently pull it out. My breath caught, body bowing further forward as she gave me a slow, deliberate stroke that sent electric pleasure dancing over my skin. I hope you're enjoying this. Oh, did I see an Alan? Oh, it's an Alan Jones. It's the me Mario. Despite where this is going, I have a feeling where they're going to get interrupted. Stop it! I don't care, Discord. I don't fucking care. Silence that shit. Oh, Tana. That feels so good. Please, can I have more? Yes, Oliver. I shivered as she pressed a soft kiss against my back and stroked me again, making me rise up on the balls of my feet to chase the sensation with a groan. My big, strong door. You did such a good job protecting me. This is somebody's kink somewhere. Saving me, making me feel so amazing. My hips had started to lightly thrust into her hand, and she adjusted her grip seamlessly, moving blissfully faster now as she murmured praise to me. Now I need you to do something for me. Can you be a good boy and come for me? They spelled it C-O-M-E. I lifted my head, blinking away the haze of pleasure, panic setting in as I stared at the wall in front of me. Of course I will. Anything for you. Anything you ask. But I don't know how. Her body quivered where it was pressed against my back, and I got the impression she was trying not to laugh. Oh, Triss, I can't even take how cute you are. Does this feel good? Her light teasing made my cock throb. I almost said that, swapped those words around. She stroked me again, firmly enough that my hips kicked again, and I moaned out loud, nodding frantically. Her soft, wonderful hand squeezed my cock near the base as she kissed my back again, through my shirt. Then just let it feel good. It's about to feel very good, trust me. You're gonna give him a stroke! Fucking hell! Like an actual stroke. put both hands on the dresser and let me take care of you this time. I let the roll of paper towels drop, half crumpled and from how hard I'd evidently been gripping it. Slapping another palm down on the dresser as Tana started up again. Her free hand slid down my spine, fingers curling into my hair and gripping it, bowing me forward until my forehead touched the dresser top. I panted, overwhelmed with pleasure to be held like this. So unlike a door, so soft and vulnerable in her hands. Well, not entirely soft. My cock felt like it was about to drill into the dresser if I thrust beyond her grip. My hips had taken on a life of their own as I mindlessly rutted into her perfect palm, babbling words like yes and thank you. Oh, like they had become my personal mantra. Part of me's trying to visualize this, and this just looks weird. I gasped for breath as I began chasing something in her hand. Sorry. Chasing something in her hand. I need raising like a roar from the core of me. Tana, what's going... Ah! My ability to speak coherently fell away as my entire existence tried to split itself into her cleverly twisting grip. Reality bending pleasure shot through me in waves as my fingers scraped against the wood beneath them. My shouts echoing off the bedroom wall in front of me. In waves as my fingers scraped against the wood beneath them. I read that part. Once the sensation had faded a little, my human legs really did give up and sent me straight to my knees, while clanging to the dresser edge to prevent a completely boneless flop. Sorry, I've missed the talks. One moment. What was that, Tana? I looked up at her with wide eyes. A dreamy grin pulled at the edge of my mouth as I panted. Excuse me. She gave me a bemused smile, sitting cross-legged in front of me, pulling a paper towel off the crumpled roll to wipe her palm. That was a hand job, Driss, and I'm not sure I've ever seen a man completely reboot his hard drive over it like that. I told you were going to give him a fucking stroke. Be glad he didn't go into a grand mal. You okay, baby? I worried I'd broken you for a second there. I nodded, closing my eyes and giving a small, happy sigh. I'm perfect. I've never felt so good. I didn't know I could feel so good. She leaned in, pressing a kiss to my forehead, and I wondered if my stomach would ever stop flip-flopping happily when she did things like that. I liked being called baby and good boy more than anything. It must have been a dog in a previous life. Except maybe this new hand job thing. Can you wait here for a minute for me? I nodded, leaning back in my palms and watching her stand, smiling down at me before leaving the bedroom. She came back shortly after with with a throw pillow from the couch, handing me a bottle of water and sitting down on the floor with the pillow on her lap. Here, Driss, come lay your head on the pillow for me. She laughed softly, handing me a warm, wet washcloth. And go ahead and wipe off your cock and put it away. I think it's earned a rest, don't you? I blushed again and grinned through, though I wasn't sure why, and did as she asked, carefully zipping up. She encouraged me to drink some of the bottle of water before guiding me to lay my head on her lap, her fingers gently combing through my hair, relaxing every muscle in my human body at once. There we go. You did so well, Driss. You didn't fucking do anything. I know what she meant. That was playing a bit, but we can talk and play more in the future, if you'd like, or we can keep it uncomplicated, if that feels better for you. I shook my head, moving to sit up before her fingertips on my chest lightly held me down. Oh, okay. Apparently I liked that too. My cock agreed, but I ignored it because Tana said it should rest. No, I don't want to be, uncomplicated. I enjoyed that. We can play again if you want to. I reached up for my zipper, but she gave my hair a tug, making my mouth go dry. And I like that. Tana grinned down at me, giving my head a soft shake with her grip on my hair. I think I've created a monster. Stay out of my head, Eminem. No, Driss, let's wait a bit. We have things to do, remember? I just wanted to give you a little reward for being such a good protector. I nuzzled her leg, cuddling closer for a laugh. Didn't feel little. Thank you. Thank you, Tana. I hope you know that I would protect you no matter what. I don't need you to get me things or do things for... Her fingertips brushed my mouth. Shh. I know, baby. I do because I want to, that's all. I wouldn't do it if I thought you were some kind of entryway fuckboy, believe me. I raised a brow, looking up at her. What the fuck? Oh. I raised a brow, looking up at her. What the fuck? Loud, angry knocking at the front door had us both sitting up bolt straight, staring down the hallway. Only one person knocked that way, but Tana was already on her feet and had a hand at the doorway before my pleasure-soaked brain caught up with my mouth. Tana, wait! Chapter 13. Yes, she is a dom, apparently. Entryway fuckboy. Yep. I gotta use that. That's gotta become a regular thing for my streams. Fraggle fucker and entryway fuckboy. What a update that iOS. Chapter 13. It was too late. Tana had already swung the new door open, and Randall was already shouldering his way into her living room, slamming the door behind him. His expression was so cold I could feel the chill from here. He swayed unsteadily on his feet, his eyes wild and focused as he crowded Tana against the back of the new door. Something metal flashed in his... Oh, fuck. Fuck. something metal flashing in his hand. Did you call them? Did you make up those fucking lies about me? They're probably tossing my place right now, you bitch. I hung up on them and now they're looking for me. Tana caught my gaze and gave a small, sharp shake of her head, subtly motioning with her hand that I should stay down and out of sight. I hated it with every fiber of my new being, but did as she told me. Randall had shoved one of his hands in the air, clutching in a way that looked painful, grunting with frustration. If Sarah had just listened to me, I was a good guy. I shouldn't laugh. The fuck you were. I told her that. I was so much better to her than Charlie had been, but no. She just wanted to be friends after laying all that emotional baggage on me. I'm not a fucking therapist. He snapped out of his tirade and glared at Tana, still plastered to the back of the door, but trying to stay calm. I'd never wished harder that her apartment had a back door. I couldn't leave this damn room without Randall seeing me. I couldn't get help for Tana. Randall raised a hand that wasn't in his hair. What? Randall raised the hand that wasn't in his hair? The metallic glint taking... The metal that wasn't in his... The handle that... Wow, my brain is stroking out here. I'm just like Woody. Oh. The metal glint suddenly taking shape. He had a gun. Fear flooded my senses, determination drowning it as my vision narrowed in on Tana. I scrambled my feet and down the hallway as fast as my legs could take me. Tana screamed and dove towards the couch. Randall turned to face me and I collided with him, slamming him into the door and grabbing his wrist. His face was an ugly snarl of fury as he shoved me back, ripping his wrist loose and looking towards the couch like a predator. No. I punched him as hard as I could, the angle awkward because we were grappling so closely. Randall's pupils were wide and dilated, as he was clearly under the influence of something, which made him unexpectedly strong as he shoved me back again. Tana smashed a vase against the back of his head with a dull thud, but it failed to take him down, even as blood stained the edge of the half-broken vase and the back of Tana's couch. There was a bright flash with a searing pain, and then there was blood on me, too. A cold sensation took over my limbs, a heaviness that made it impossible to move, to pick up my foot and travel forward, put myself between Randall and Tana. I grew taller, a woozy Randall turning unfocused, confusing eyes up on me. My unfloppy human spine stiffened as I fell into him, ramming his head between the edge of the couch frame with a sharp, broken piece of the vase, with a sickening thud. I was so tired. I needed to rest now. But wasn't there something I needed to... sleep? Forget the cuck chair. This guy is the cuck door. Give the killer the Kermit voice. I was waiting for him to start rocking and chanting, I sim for you, I sim for you. I'm just gonna read a passage to try and do Kermit where just to see if it'll work, where Where was it? I was a good guy. I told her that. Nope. I can't keep a straight face. Sorry, I tried. No, I can't do Woody as the killer. I'm sorry. I get angry when I start reading stuff involving Randall. So no, I can't do that. Chapter 14. Consciousness was a fleeting thing, but with a few snippets I managed to capture told me I was definitely at door again. This time, however, the burning, angry presence of a bullet hole marred me in a through and through, a hole big enough to pass the pen through, an inch below my apartment number. The pain of it made it hard to focus, to stay awake enough to understand what was going on around me. Images lingered in my mind without context or continuity. Some uniformed men and women scratching at a wall with a penknife and sliding Tana's orange juice bottle into a red-topped plastic bag. A weeping Tana talking to police officers, gesturing at me where I leaned at an angle off the back of the couch. I have to... Okay. My brain was split for a moment. Randall's crumpled body surrounded by blood-stained carpet, his eyes closed. Mrs. Scrimshaw, Christopher Thomas in her arms, apologizing empathetically for something to Tana. A solemn Officer Holden gesturing at the woods from the front door, nodding with a sad expression. A white room full of metal tables, littering with red-topped plastic bags, and the snap and whine of flash cameras. The thump-thud of a long journey in the back of a van, followed by the familiar warmth of Tana's living room and the smell of new carpet and paint. And somewhere in the eternity, Tana's voice called out to me, like a golden rope to hang on to, and pulled myself out of the darkness. Triss, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm not even sure you weren't a fever dream, but I can't let you go. I made them bring you back to me after the investigation, after Randall was charged for the death of that poor girl. Her fingertips traced down my front. I was relieved I could still feel her, that I hadn't lost that in whatever had happened to me. Her palm lingered over where my bullet hole had been, which felt better somehow. As if she could read my mind, Tana gave a sad laugh, fingertips tracing where the hole had been. I got some wood putty. I don't know how exactly to fix mortal wounds on a man that turned into a door on me, but I think I did a decent job. Her voice cracked, and I realized she was not only crying, but it had been for a while. I ached to be able to hold her, to make it better, to show her I was all right. But was I really? I was a door again, with the replacement that I'd been installed practically mocking me. What use could Tana possibly have for me now? She already negotiated with the police to have me returned, which I'm pretty sure came with a great deal of uncomfortable, impossible questions. And I was touched she'd gone that far. I was essentially kindling in terms of usefulness. The thought filling me with a deep, wretched sadness. Something soft and slippery stretched over me with shock. I discovered that Tana was stretching another barrier. A condom, she explained when we were picking out my clothes, over my knob. I was resting flat against the carpet, and Tana was wearing more than a suggestion of lace that skimmed. Stop it, Discord. Tana was wearing little more than a suggestion of lace that skimmed her curves that showed everything. I was wrecked, Driss. I wanted you back. I needed you back. Even though I knew Randall was in jail, I kept having those nightmares about being buried in the woods, and I prayed. I didn't even know who I was praying to be honest with you. But I didn't care if they could bring you back to me. Tana continued softly as the cap of the clear bottle lube clicked quietly. Cool drops sliding down the sides of my latex-covered knob. And one night, someone finally answered. This beautiful Greek woman reached down and she pulled me out of the leaves and told me I was going to be all right. The fuck just happened? Pulled me out of the leaves and told me I was going to be all right. We walked right out of this nightmare, and she listened to me talk about you, said some disparaging things about her husband being an idiot, and she told me how I could get you back. It took weeks of paperwork and fighting with the evidence department, and a lot of Lysol, and telling myself I wasn't crazy, but she bit her lower lip, studying me, taking a long sip from her wine glass before setting it aside. Tana carefully folded the edges of her barely laced nightie away from her hips, where she was beautifully bare underneath, straddling me. One hand splayed over my front, the other on the carpet behind her as she lowered herself onto me, her breath catching. It took more wiggling on her part this time, but we, had gravity working in our favor too. The tension of her nails digging into the carpet and against my front thrilled me, and I sent a silent prayer up to the woman who had dropped into Tana's dreams for this excellent suggestion. I'm reading the comments. Yep. That's right, Helena. Bump. Transfixed by her quiet sighs and moans, I'd watched rapturously as my Tana slowly and carefully sank down on my knob for the second time, grasping it as it finally slid in fully. I couldn't help but thrust back up, my rigid body vibrating the tiniest bit. It was enough to make Tana's eyes fully open, however, wide with wonder as she smiled her curved lips. Triss? She let out a little cry of alarm as my body bowed and grew beneath her, my white, short knob. I fucking knew it! I fucking knew it! Short knob lengthening into something between my door self and human self deep inside her, causing both of us to groan. She threw her arms around my neck as her thighs slid to either side of my naked lap. Driss, it's you! It worked! Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hera. That's who it was. She covered my neck in kisses between each thank you, taking deep inhales against my skin like my scent was a drug she needed to live. And as she moved my kiss to kiss my lips, her hips tilted just slightly, unconsciously seeking friction. I wrapped my hands around them, leaning back and thrusting up slowly to watch the lust haze in her eyes as I whispered against her mouth. My beautiful Tana, how I've missed you. I'd die for you 1,000 times to live this moment. Her head rolled back and her hair tickling the tops of my legs as I began. Her hair's long. As I began to work in and out of her body, chasing instinct and sensations shamelessly. Her hands, hands, unconsciously my ass, subconsciously maybe, sure. Her hands fell to my shoulders as she rode me at a pace that had me seeing stars. Grateful for the condom giving me a little more control, content to let her lead me as she found her own bliss. She ground herself into, shouldn't that say grounded? She ground herself into me, bring my cock into her, to the hilt inside her, whimpering against my neck as she moaned faster and faster, all but pinning me against the couch behind us. Oh, the next line. Yes, Therese, fuck me, please, baby. Oh, God. I took the hint and grabbed her hips, even tighter, driving up into her until her moans dipped into pitch. Moments later, her body locked up against me, her cunt tightening and fluttering as her nails dug into my shoulders. Ouch. Before she went all but boneless in my arms. She nuzzled my temple tenderly, whispering, "Put me on my back, Triss." Yes, Kaylee. Ham and cheese grilled. She nuzzled my temple tenderly, whispering, "Put me on my back, Triss. I want you to use me to get off." I love that. I want to watch you use my body. Her eyes sparkled with a new kind of lust as I held her against me as I rolled upon my knees, stretching her out on the top of the carpet beneath me without sliding out of her. I hope they have a door still. She raised her legs to rest her thighs on my hips, and I planted my palms on either side of her. What? What? She raised her legs to rest her thighs on my hips, and I planted a palm on either side of her beautiful face? It's not how you do that, man. Bracing myself the way I had on the dresser, we smiled at each other, and I watched the shift of her features with fascination. Yes, Bonzi, go away. I watched the shift of her face. Watched the shift of her features with fascination as I stroked slowly into her, the flutter of her eyelashes, her teeth whirring at her lower lip, her brow furrowing with each pleasure. I leaned down to kiss the furrow away, starting up a slow, hungry rhythm of thrust that felt best to me exactly as she'd asked me to. Excuse me. Not great timing. She nodded, moaning good boy up to me. This shit again. And my last thread of control snapped, sending my hips crashing into her gracelessly as I whined. Her hand found my hair as I drove into her, panting with need. I know you can do it for me, Tris, baby. I know you can fill... Oh, wow. I know you can fill that condom up and show me how much you missed me. Just... Yes, Bonzi, just noped the fuck out of here. Go on, lover, fuck me hard, take what you want, take what you need, come for me now. Her tone, as she instructed me, half control and command, and half just shy of teasing, sent me over the edge so fast I was almost embarrassed. I cried out for her, chanting her name, mindlessly trying to root myself even deeper as I pulsed and twitched and shuddered. Completely undone, I gently rested my forehand on hers as I grasped for air, my heart hammered with pleasure. This guy has no cardio. She gathered me against her chest, letting me go boneless, tilting us to the side so that I didn't crush her as I caught my breath. She stroked her hands up and down my sweaty ribs and back, tracing soft paths as she sighed with contentment. Have I pleased you? Did I do well? I blushed, shy to voice those questions, still needing her praise as much as I needed her body moments ago. So well, my good boys. Absolutely perfect. You did exactly what I asked you to, and I loved every minute of it. Thank you so much, baby. I tucked a broad smile against her shoulder, cheeks burning. I was a good boy. Yes, Mr. Stan. Oh boy. After we'd rested for a moment, Tana talked me through holding the edge of the condom as I eased our bodies apart, and even that simple instruction was enough to stir my cock's interest again. Bullshit. Fucking bullshit. She also snickered at my stricken expression, which didn't help matters at all. She tapped my tip-filled condom-covered cock with a finger, wrinkling, winking at me as she got up, gesturing towards the small room. The bathroom, she called it. You're definitely my type, Driss. We're going to have so much fun. Now go get cleaned up. You and I are going out for dinner to celebrate your triumphant return. I tugged the condom off, looking with fascination at the thick white liquid on my fingertips beforehand. Why did you touch it? Before washing them off in the sink, Tan explained, as she got ready nearby, that it had been several months since that fateful night, oh wow, when I was shot and reverted back to my door self. Mrs. Scrimshaw had actually called in about Randall. The older woman had previously caught him going out in the woods at odd hours of the night, and realized Tana's car wasn't in the lot the last time Randall had let himself in this apartment. Randall had nearly died from head trauma the night he shot me and I fell on him. I was solid oak after all. Oh, fuck. That's what happened. I was solid oak after all, but I'd pulled through enough to face trial and spent the rest of his life in prison. Poor Sarah had been laid to rest properly, and her family had gotten the closure they'd been waiting so long for. Once I was dressed in a pair of nice black pants and button-up shirt she'd bought for me while I was in evidence. Tana smiled as she fixed my collar, her expression soft and affectionate. So Hera also said that you'd turn back into a door every full moon. So we'll need to repeat this when you transform, so I can bring you back with my magic pussy. She giggled and cupped a hand over the enchanted genitals in question, over the skirt of her beautiful red dress. You should be able to stay human for the rest of the month now, at least. Though she also said you'll have more control over the change once you get used to it. Kinda glad about that, honestly. I'm a fan of your knob. She wrapped her arms around my waist and tilted her face up for a kiss, which I gladly gave her. Your wish is my command, now and always, in any body I can give you. She cupped my cheek and patted it a tad too firmly with a smile, making my cock jump yet again. No, it didn't. I doubted I'd ever really get it back under control, now that Tana had truly claimed me. Oh, and, well, it was kind of weird, but some old guy in a bathrobe or something knocked at my door yesterday, asking about you. I was a little freaked out, honestly, but he said you were family? I don't see how that's possible, but I didn't tell him anything either, just in case. He left something for you. She grabbed a small box off the entry table and handed it to me, peering curiously into it as I pulled off the cover. Inside, a worn brown leather wallet was nestled against a few folded sheets of tissue paper. We sat on the couch as I opened the wallet, where a driver's license with my photo graced the front pocket, declaring me as Drislock, a 32-year-old legal immigrant from Greece, along with a passport and a small copy of my theoretical Greek birth certificate, a substantial amount of high-value bills, and a business card for an antiques dealer were tucked in the back of the wallet. As I turned over the card, tell him Dad sent you, and take good care of that beautiful girl, greeted me in sharp, tidy handwriting, and an old gold coin rolled out from the back pocket to land heavily onto my leg. So maybe Zeus has learned something after all. Either way, I wasn't going to let a good lesson go to waste. I tucked the coin and the card safely into the drawer of the coffee table and extended a hand to help Tana up. The gods have spoken. I have a beautiful girl to take to dinner. I smiled as she turned her face up to me, wordlessly demanding another kiss. I really liked it when she bossed me around. The end. That... We are not going to read about the author Vera Valentine, which is probably just a penned name. We did it, people. We survived it. We survived. I'm reading all the notifications on my phone. It can't end. Oh, that's the thing. It's very open. Open to interpretation. A potential sequel, which we are not going to cover. Skytext, the end. Hercules, bro, I got a store for you. Woof. Okay, so when I said I fucking knew it earlier, like, I've read books, I've watched movies, I've read fan fiction, I understand some story progression, and I had a thought, even like days after the previous reading, which was what, 2-3 weeks ago, I had a thought like, what if he turns back into a door and then turns into a door in the middle of the fucking the fucking and it fucking happened. I didn't want to make predictions because that wouldn't be fair, but I was just like, you know, it's a stupid thought. I'll keep it myself. Scarred for life, but survived. Fuck yeah. Yes, you all can thank Helena for this long-form birthday present. Lies, you haven't read books. I don't really read fiction. Actually, no. I don't read non-fiction. Is that yeah, I had it flipped in my brain. I mostly read fiction. Like Jurassic Park, a lot of Michael Crichton, currently Michael C. Crumley, Breakthrough. But I guess also I read proper authors who know punctuation. Some of the arrangements of these paragraphs just broke my brain. Absolutely. The things we suffer through because we love you, Helena. No, it's a valid question. Yes, happy... Well, we've done the happy birthday, but yeah, happy belated birthday. I've watched videos on the hub. This is the same. You've watched door porn, Skytext? Care to share something with us? I don't know if it's worth combining all these into like one long form video. I will have to think on that. Like, Red Letter Media did this with their Star Wars. They would release them in parts because way back then you had to release stuff in little parts. And then once YouTube got better at it, they just combined everything into like, 100 minutes or something like that, a review. Excuse me. It's like a 12-part series originally. I should have let you edit my thing. Nah, let this be for us. Well, there is door porn on the hub. It would be What are you doing, Stepdoor? Do a different audiobook for a posted video. See, I'm so used to the interaction now. I don't think I could really... I'd have to get in the mood, the right mindset to do a recording. Because most of the time when I record, like I've been recording video for Jedi Survivor, and I don't speak in that. I just play the game. I am not a wordsmith. There's no way I am a wordsmith. But no, this was an interesting experience. I joked a few weeks ago that like 5 years down the road, the channel's going to grow. Someone's going to create a wiki page for me. And like, this is going to be the one thing that like haunts me. Years down the road. On such and time, Karis read a door porn book. And it became canon. in his ongoing streaming lore. And it probably will be. What is oh yes, there's all kinds of things. Looking at the Discord. Yeah, I hope you all have enjoyed that. I almost was dreading it because I knew I knew this author. Like, I'm an analyst, people. I've done IT for almost 10 years. Like, I can follow patterns and stuff. And I knew based on the previous bit, it's like, okay, there's gonna be two more sex incidents, possibly one involving him being a door. I knew Randall was gonna be dealt with. I just know it was gonna be dealt like that. But it's like, there's gonna be some uncomfortableness still. But we did it. Now we can get back to actual fun stuff. Question is what? I don't think I'm gonna do any more erotic thrillers or what is this, erotic paranormal? Hikaru mentioned what the name of it was earlier tonight. I can't remember. Paranormal eroticism or something like that. This particular one is a one-off. Enjoy it. But yeah, I think what I'm gonna go do. It's 9 o'clock on the West Coast. She has indeed gone over the threshold. That is very true. No. My brain's fried from Nier. What I kind of want to do, I've gotten Subnautica prepped. After the initial stream, I went back, I played a little bit more, and I got prepared because I think no one wants to see. I actually want to do more Nier, just not today. Things are starting to get interesting in Nier. The storylines are very spaced out, but no, I need to get more involved in that. But no, it's 9 o'clock. I'm debating, like, how many people we got in here? I have no idea. How many people have unsubbed? That's a better question. We gained subs! We're at 930 people. We gained subs. That's funny. I'm always expecting to lose subs. Like, there's one short I posted. It's the What Have We Become from Lethal Company. And it's a Scaly and Toby, like, basically doing, like, serenaded readings. And there was a lot of there was a fair bit of views on it. There was barely any subs from that. Barely anyone subbed, and the few people who did unsubbed later on. Like, I watched the tick bar go up, and then I would check later, and it would go down. I was like, yep, that makes sense. So I was expecting this last reading, like, to go from like 920 something down to like 800. People are just like, and fuck this guy. We're not subbing to door porn. But no, we gained subs. I guess people are willing to tolerate it. Karis, the master debater. See, it works well. You were so close. You close? As Toby would say. But yeah, maybe I will do. I didn't even check to see how many people we had in the stream. I just checked to see we've got 8 watching. Should I do Subnautica after this? I want to like end this and then restart for Subnautica. I'm not jumping into Subnautica right after this. He's edging. Woody's always edging. He uses the Dremel to edge. Alright, I'm gonna go use the bathroom. I'm gonna get some more liquid. Jackbox. That one I want to set that one. I haven't used Jackbox yet. I want to actually set it up before I just jump into it. Subnautica. We'll have to do Jackbox at some point. I need to do Resident Evil 1. I've had that thing queued up so many times. I need to play Resident Evil 1. I've never played Resident Evil 1, like, I think ever. Not even when it originally came out. I jumped right into like 2, 4, and so on. So we'll have to look into some junk box. Wow, that my brain went into like Junka. We also need to do Cards Against Humanity, which that'll be probably something. Excuse me. Skytech, Scaly, and if we can get Sonya on that, we also need to do more chained together with Toby. We got to drag Toby back here. He keeps working on his little project, but I keep wanting to drag him away. Usually there's not much to do when you load in Jumpbox. Oh, okay. You know, that's actually probably a better idea. I'll save Resident Evil for Halloween. Because last Halloween, I did a bunch of little stuff. Like I did Doom 3, Dead Space 2. I did a bunch of like the classics. But I like that. Bosco. Resident Evil 1 on GOG for Halloween. Question is... Let's see. Halloween is on a Thursday. I don't know where I'm going to be that week. But we will plan for October 31st. Presumably to be doing Resident Evil 1. For Ka. Yes, your phone freaked out. Ah. The Chain Gang, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I believe, yeah, Hataro had me sit down and watch like I'd seen 1, 2, I think it was Apocalypse, 4 all the way through, I think. We did it all in like one day or something like that. And they're not the worst. They're kind of along the tier of... I don't want to compare fully to Twilight because that gives the wrong connotation, but you have to really suspend a lot of disbelief to just turn your brain off and enjoy them. And when you do that, yeah, there's absolutely things about them that are enjoyable. They're all this very different movie. It's almost kind of like anthology films. Like each one has a different flavor that are still part of the Resident Evil franchise. If that makes sense. Calm your titties. We have to have Thanksgiving first. We eat turkey before Halloween? Okay. All right, everyone. I'm glad that you all joined me. I'm going to take a little break. And then I'm going to jump back into Subnautica for a little while. There, your Transformers are fat. Yep, they are absolutely guilty pleasure. No. No what? No what, Scaly? Why no? Why no? Why not yes? We do in Canada. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you've got it flipped. I'm waiting for, because I know it's like 18 seconds behind. I'm waiting for Scaley to give me a reason of why. Or he might not. I'm going to start doing the beep 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 that Cody does when he's waiting for stuff. Nothing? Okay. Well, I love you all. Thanks for joining. I'm going to... Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. America, it's hell. Yeah, I I get that. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining. We'll be back in a little bit with some Subnautica. Catch you in a bit.